Good evening, East Alabama. Welcome in on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Namath Pitts. We have a great show for you guys today. We have highlights of the Alexandria Valley Cubs semifinal sweep over Springville. We have highlights of Game 1 and 2. You will also hear from the head coach of the Alexandria Valley Cubs, Coach Zach Welch. You will hear from both winning pitchers, Andrew Allen and Trip Patterson. And you will hear from the RBI leader yesterday, Brady Good. You will also hear from him. It is going to be a great show, guys. We're going to preview the softball action from regionals this morning, preview soccer action. How about the Donahoe Falcons, the Lady Falcons? Talons out, baby. They are headed to the state championship game that will be played Friday at 2 p.m. in Huntsville, where they will be playing St. James out of Montgomery. And we are going to be up there having the updates and the highlights next Monday. But we'll be in Huntsville on Friday. Softball continued in Albertville today. Although I had to come back home and cover baseball, I will be back at Albertville tomorrow as we will have more highlights of regional softball for classes 3A and 2A on Friday. Hey, we start our show every day with our EAN scoreboard. But before we get into our scoreboard, I do want to remind you to hit that like and follow button on our East Alabama Now page so that you do not miss a thing. We put out a post earlier today asking for your feedback to tell us what it is about EAN that you love. We would love for you to go comment on that and tell us what it is about East Alabama Now that you love so much. Is it the highlights? Is it the interviews? Is it the news? Is it the weather with John Holder? We want to know so you can help us figure out what we need to continue to do or do more of to bring you the best coverage here in East Alabama. Speaking of coverage, you want to know what is going on. What is the most up-to-date news? Well, here's the most update to scores at the moment from last night in baseball, soccer, and softball from today. Let's get into our EAN scoreboard, starting with the game last night that you'll see highlights of today. The Alexandria Valley Cubs and the Springville Tigers. From Alexandria, Brody Slayton was 1 for 3, had 4 runs in Game 1. Also in Game 1, there was a hit from Aiden Bruner. You had a hit from Ian Cartwright. You had a hit from Folsom came in and got a hit as well. You had Eli Barnes get a hit. Evan Snow had 2 hits. Ty Brown had 2 hits. Bray Good had 1 hit. Bray Good had 2 RBIs. Evan Snow had an RBI, and Ian Cartwright and Bruner each had 1. As Alexandria got the win 8-1 in Game 1. Andrew Allen pitched Game 1. 7 complete innings for the Valley Cubs. In Game 2, the 10-0 win, they got a hit from a lot of people. Bruner, Cartwright, Barnes, Snow, Brown, Good. They all had a hit. They had an RBI from Brown and Snow, 2 RBIs from Barnes, an RBI from Bruner as they got the win over Springville 10-0. Trip Patterson pitched a complete game as Alexandria advanced to the state championship game that'll be Monday at Jacksonville State University. Also punching their ticket to the state championship game, how about Coach Wendell and the Westbrook Christian Warriors? They won Game 1 6-4. Dylan Rainey struck out 13 batters. They had over a 2-hour delay due to rain. Westbrook was trailing 4-0 in that rain delay. They come back, score 6 unanswered runs, and win the game. Lauderdale County jumped out, like I said, 4-0, and then Westbrook Christian came back, and it all started with that Will Chadwick double. Jacob Maples and Rainey, by the way, had a great game. They each collected 2 hits for Westbrook Christian. Chadwick led them with 3 runs batted in, and then that was a good game in Game 1, 6-4, and Westbrook Christian followed that up with a 3-0 game. Both teams had really good pitchers in the second game, strong on the mound for sure, but Braden Kay had 21 outs, recorded 21 outs for the Westbrook Christian Warriors, and Kay struck out 13 batters, only gave up 2 hits, 0 runs in 7 innings, only walked 1 batter. Westbrook Christian opened things up with Noah Wright hitting a single that scored a run. Brody Johnson, Jacob Maples, and Wright each collected a hit for Westbrook Christian. Johnson, Maples, and Wright each drove in 1 run as Westbrook Christian got the win 3-0 and advanced to the state championship game where they will also play at JSU against Thomasville. All right, we move forward now. Let's go to Huntsville. Final 4 action from today in soccer. How about Coach Melton and the Donahoe Falcons? Donahoe had a great game, shut out Madison Academy 5-0. They got a goal. Actually, matter of fact, they got 5 goals. 2 of those were from Anna Kate Wallace. 2 goals were from Erin Turley, and Zoe Christopher scored a goal. Laura Lee Church did her job with a lot of saves back at the goal, and Donahoe defeats Madison Academy 5-0 and advanced to the state championship game that'll be Friday at 2 p.m. where they will play St. James out of Montgomery. Let's look at regional softball action from Albertville. This was today. Spring Garden easily beat Cedar Bluff 11-4. Maggie Reedy singled and scored a run. Avery Stewart stepped in the circle for Spring Garden. She started the game, surrendered 10 hits and 4 runs. One of those earned over 7 innings, striking out 8 and walking 2. Then there was a pitch and change. Spring Garden, though, came storming back right there. 13 hits they had. Reedy had a lot of pop in the middle of the lineup. She had 3 RBIs, went 2 for 5 on the day. Addie Word was 3 for 5 at the plate. Helena Ingram, Maggie Jarrett, and Stewart each collected multiple hits as Spring Garden got the 11-4 win over Cedar Bluff. Also today, Coach Bryant and the Pleasant Valley Raiders started their tour in Albertville. They got on the bottom. They got on the board in the bottom of the first inning after Lily Henry hit a sac fly. Cromer singled, Lee singled, and Cheatwood singled, which each scored a run. Lily Henry got the win for Pleasant Valley. She allowed 8 hits and 2 runs over 5 innings while striking out 6. And Pleasant Valley had Cromer. She drove the middle of the lineup for them. She led the way with 2 runs, batted in, went perfect at the plate, 3 for 3. Cramner had 2 hits and 3 at-bats. Ward stole 3 stolen bases. They had 11 stolen bases total in the game as Pleasant Valley got the win over North Sand Mountain, the Bison, 7-2, and they advanced in the winner's bracket. It was not a good start for Coach Andy Fulmer and the Weaver Bearcats at regionals, second straight year at regionals, by the way. Plainview scored 6 runs in the 6th inning as they ended up winning 8-0. Abby Williams hit an inside the park home run. Faith Odom hit a solo home run. Williams singled. Jada Hampton drew a walk. And Hannah Regola single, which scored 3 runs for Plainview. For Weaver, Peyton Marvesty led the way. She had 1 hit and 3 at-bats. She also turned a double play. But it was all Plainview as the Bears beat Weaver 8-0, and Weaver now falls to the elimination side of the bracket. It was not a good day for White Plains yesterday. They played in the winners finale, 1 win away from the state championship tournament, and they lost to Cherokee County. Came down and played Madison County in a must-win game, and they fell 18-3. Livy Hutter had 3 hits and 5 at-bats from Madison County. They just jumped out early. Jumped out in the first inning on them. Madison County scored 6 runs on 5 hits in the top of the 5th inning. Leighton Arnold did get Savannah Cantrell to hit into a fielder's choice to limit the damage. But overall, Marion Gamble was the starting pitcher for Madison County. Got the win, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned over 4 innings while striking out 3 and walking 2. Carly Fritz was in the circle first for White Plains. She gave up 3 hits and 4 runs, 3 of those earned. And ultimately, though, Madison County had 17 hits as they defeated White Plains 18-3, and Coach Muncher's team's season comes to an end. Also yesterday, how about this? Coach McKibben's team fell to Pell City in the area tournament. They win against Mountain Brook, defeat Minor, get Pell City. Winner goes to the state tournament. And Oxford gets the job done as they will come back home and play in the state tournament. The game was tied at 8 in the bottom of the 8th when Adasia Wilson laid down a sac bunt, and it scored a run for the Yellow Jackets. Now, Oxford jumped out to a 7-0 lead. They blew the lead. Pell City came back, tied it up, but ultimately Oxford did get the win. Berkeley Mooney got the win for Oxford. She surrendered 10 hits, 4 runs over 6 1/3 innings, struck out 12, walked 1. Allie Mosley took the loss for Pell City. She went 6 innings, surrendering 2 runs on 4 hits while striking out 2 and walking 1. Crosley had a great day at the plate for Oxford. She had 2 runs batted in, went 2 for 4 on the day as Oxford got the win 9-8 and advanced to the state tournament, which will be at their home park, Choccolocco Park, next week. That is all of the action. A lot of action. More teams still in action right now. Alexandria must win situation not just once, twice, but 3 times today in order for them to advance to the state tournament. Weaver now has got to figure out a way to get through the consolation bracket. Piedmont start out their day against Geraldine. You, of course, had Pleasant Valley there with North Sand Mountain. Had Glencoe and Hooks Bluff in action. A lot is happening in Albertville, and I've got to get back up there tomorrow to get you back up to speed on everything taking place there. Tonight, I'll be at Choccolocco Park for the Oxford Yellow Jackets. They're hosting Hartselle in the semifinals of the Class 6A playoff baseball, a rematch of just a year ago where the winner will advance to Jacksonville State University and play in the state championship series, and the loser's season will come to an end. It was the same stipulation last night for Alexandria and Springville. We have the highlights of Game 1. You'll hear from Andrew Allen and Bray Good when we come back as we continue on the Locker Room.
We live in a world that moves quickly, and while we are able to connect faster than ever through technology, maybe you've noticed that real connection is hard to come by. Parker Memorial Baptist Church offers you a place to connect, a place to learn more about Jesus and the difference He can make in your life, a place to build relationships with like-minded believers, or maybe discover what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ. A place to use the gifts and talents God has given you. A place where we love God and we love you. Parker Memorial Baptist Church, 1205 Quintard Avenue, Anniston. Visit our website for details.
Welcome back into the locker room on this Wednesday afternoon. It was a great Tuesday afternoon for me out at Alexandria supporting the Valley Cubs as they hosted Springville in the state semifinals. First time that Alexandria has hosted the semifinals since 2015. Alexandria has made the state championship game twice in history, lost both of those games, so they're still seeking their first state championship in school history. Their opponent to get the opportunity to try to do that, the team that was standing in their way, was the Springville Tigers. Springville got to the semifinals by sweeping Russellville in 2 games. Alexandria got there by beating Sardis in 3 games. Let's go out to Alexandria to Bird Welch Field for Game 1. Here's head coach Zach Welch of Alexandria meeting with the umpires and Springville head coach Jonathan Ford. You see right here the Alexandria players taking the field. No surprise, Game 1 starter for Alexandria is Andrew Allen. He gets Kevin Jones to hit a fly ball to center field that is caught by Ty Brown. Now coming up to bat, see a little handshake right there between Brown and Cartwright. This time though, Cade Willis is at the plate. He's going to hit a ground ball to Brody Slayton. He bobbles it but gets it and makes the throw in just enough time to get out. So Cade Willis is out. Now up at the plate is Ryan King for Springville. He's going to hit a ground ball to Nick Thompson. He fields it, throws it to first base for the out. Now Springville's going to take over. Carter Samuelson's going to get the start for Springville in Game 1. His first person he's going to see is Brody Slayton, the leadoff hitter for Alexandria. Brody Slayton's going to hit a ground ball to Ryan King, the shortstop, but he cannot field it. And Slayton is safe at first base to start the game. Ian Cartwright now up. He's going to hit a single to center field, and that is going to put Slayton at second base. Alexandria cooking in the first inning already. Samuel Henniger now at the plate. He's going to hit a chopper to Cade Willis at third base. Cade Willis is going to field it. He's going to make the throw to first base for the out. This time, though, a wild pitch in the dirt is going to allow Slayton to go from third to home as Slayton scores on the wild pitch and gives Alexandria the lead in the first inning 1-0. Carter Samuelson, though, would get out of it as he gets Eli Barnes to strike out swinging as Springville only gives up 1. Speaking of strikeouts, Andrew Allen gets Alex Holland to strike out swinging right there. And then he comes right back and gets another strikeout as Andrew Allen gets Jake Koner to strike out swinging. Now Alexandria back going offensively at the plate. Evan Snow had a lot of singles against Sardis. Well, he started the day with a single to left field against Springville. Evan Snow gets the single. Springville now, nothing going for Alexandria. Springville back at the plate. Kevin Jones, though, is going to hit an RBI single to center field, and that's going to tie the game up at 1 apiece. Kevin Jones with the RBI. Aiden Bruner now at the plate. He's going to take a hit by pitch off the helmet, and he's going to take the walk to first base. See him right there. Had a good day yesterday for the Valley Cubs. Ian Cartwright's going to hit a fly ball to center field. It is caught by Alex Holland. Slayton tags up and moves to third. They're going to try to throw it to second. It's going to be an error that goes in the outfield, and that is going to score Slayton at home. So Alexandria now retakes the lead 2-1. Grant Martinez at the plate for Springville. He's going to hit a fly ball to center field, and that is caught by Ty Brown. Bray Good right here is going to bust it open. He hits an RBI double to left center field, and that is going to score not 1, but that is going to score 2 runs for Bray Good. He had a big RBI double against Sardis, big RBI double against Springville. Brody Slayton this time draws the walk for the Valley Cubs as he goes to first base. Aiden Bruner now up at the plate. He's going to hit an RBI single to center field, and Brady Slayton's going to go home. That's an RBI for Bruner. You see him right there. Big RBI single. Eli Barnes this time, Samuel Henniger is going to draw the walk again for Alexandria. That's going to bring Eli Barnes up to the plate next, and Eli Barnes is going to hit a single that goes right through the gap to right field. Henniger's going to go to third. Barnes at first. Alexandria now has runners on the corners. Barnes had a great day yesterday. Evan Snow this time hits a ground ball. Springville looking for the double play. They cannot get it. as Evan Snow gets there in time to avoid the double play. Todd Brown this time hits a ground ball to Ryan King. He beats the throw. Ty Brown safe at first base as he beats Ryan King's throw. Andrew Allen gets Alex Holland to strike out looking as Alexandria takes game 1 8-1 and puts themselves in a position where they only have to win one more game to clinch a spot in the state championship. Now, they did obviously clinch a spot in the state championship, but the game 1 winner was Andrew Allen. He had an unbelievable start for them. We talked about pitched a complete game. We caught up after both games with Andrew Allen, who talked about how he felt on the mound, what he felt like was working for him the best. Here's Andrew Allen with more on how he felt yesterday against Springville.
I think I had some struggles early on. I started to find the zone a little better towards the end. Towards the end of my start, I kind of had the realization that this is going to be the last time ever throwing on this field in front of this many people, and I think I just wanted to make the most of it.
For that to be his final time pitching on Bird Welch Field, he certainly left it all out there. He shoved, is a baseball term we use. He absolutely put it to Springville. Only got 1 earned run. But most people seem to forget that Andrew Allen had to overcome a lot of adversity this season. He had an injury that made him miss half the season, maybe a little more than half. Came back around spring break, but still not really feeling all the way 100%. And maybe he didn't really start turning things on until the playoffs. Still gave up a couple runs against Douglas, had 1 or 2 there against Sardis, but yesterday was obviously probably one of his better performances since he's come back from injury. And Andrew Allen's had to overcome a lot of adversity. He's had to overcome an injury. He's headed to play college baseball, D1 college baseball, but before he gets to Western Kentucky, he's going to play for a state championship. I asked Andrew Allen just the emotions he was experiencing, how he felt knowing all the adversity that he had overcome this season and to now be playing for a 5A state championship.
Man, this is just so special for us and everything this team has been through. I mean, that setback early on in the season just made me want to come back and get after it more. And I mean, I had some struggles early on, but I think it's coming around. Everything is coming really, really good right now.
When Andrew Allen was out because of that injury, Tripp Patterson and Bray Good and Braden Thacker, Samuel Henniger, they all had to really step up because that was one ace that Alexandria was down. But for Andrew Allen getting to pitch next to Tripp Patterson every day, having a junior like Bray Good who came in and just threw a phenomenal game against Sardis, it only makes you better as a pitcher. So I asked Andrew Allen, how is it to get to be a part of this team? How is it to get to pitch next to someone like Tripp Patterson and pitch next to someone like Bray Good who's going to be the ace next year?
Man, the three of us, we've done so much together. Everything we've done has just been for the team, and I don't see any way the three of us lose.
I don't either, and I hope they get the job done against Mobile Christian at JSU next week. They'll play game 1 on Monday, game 2, and an if needed game 3 will be on Tuesday. Hey, we talked about Bray Good. He's only a junior. Everybody focuses on all the seniors of this team. Bray Good's only a junior. He's going to be the ace next year. There's not a question about that. And he's had some big at-bats and some big games this year. He's only a junior, but he's helped contribute to leading these seniors to a state championship appearance. Yesterday, he had a big game, had 2 RBIs in game 1 against Springville. We caught up with Bray Good, where he talked about how he felt at the plate, the way he was seeing the ball, his eye discipline. Here he is with more.
Oh man, they had some good pitchers. I was really having to focus on, staying back and hitting oppo really. They were attacking me outside, and I knew that was going to happen. But I went in there and I tried to stay back and focus on oppo.
Bray Good gets the big hit with the 2 RBIs. Alexandria gets the big win 8-1 in game 1. Game 2, though, was even sweeter. You had a win, you had a celebration, and more interviews. We've got Zach Welch, Tripp Patterson, more of Bray Good. Highlights as we continue on. Do not go away, guys. This is the best part. When we come back,
For over 60 years, Oxford Lumber has been servicing our area, and our customer service has always been our main focus. Our customer service is what sets us apart from anyone else. From the moment you enter, our highly trained staff will treat you like family.
To enthusiastically provide total customer satisfaction within a positive and self-fulfilling employee relations environment. Visit us at any of our 4 locations or at oxfordlumber.com.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
For metal buildings in Alabama and the Southeast, Waldrop Manufacturing is your one-stop source. A Waldrop metal building provides the coverage and protection your investments need. They specialize in carports, RV covers, portable buildings, and storage buildings. Stop paying rent for storage. With Waldrop's price per foot, you can actually save money by buying straight from the manufacturer. Waldrop buildings are guaranteed because Waldrop manufactures buildings with U.S. steel right here in Calhoun County. Waldrop Manufacturing, serving the entire Southeast. Give them a call today.
Welcome back into the locker room. It is Wednesday afternoon. We have officially reached the halfway mark of the week, and we have got more of Alexandria's sweep over Springville. More highlights, less of me. Let's get right back to Bird Welch Field at Alexandria for the highlights of Game 2 between Alexandria and Springville. Alexandria hosted the semifinals for the first time since 2015. Tripp Patterson is the Game 2 starter for Alexandria. On the mound for Springville, it's Alex Holland. Aiden Bruner at the plate. He's going to hit an infield single. He's going to beat the throw by Ryan King as Bruner is safe at first base. Tripp Patterson going to get a couple strikeouts. He gets Cade Willis to strike out swinging. Tripp Patterson's going to follow that up by getting Grant Martinez to strike out swinging. Back-to-back strikeouts for Patterson. Evan Snow's going to lay down a bunt, and the bunt's going to end up turning into an infield single as Snow beats the throw. Runner moves second to third, and Alexandria has runners on the corners. Ty Brown is going to line into second base. It's going to be a fielder's choice. They throw it to second, but cannot make a throw to first. Tanner Oaks makes the throw to second base for the out. Bray Good this time hits a double to left field, and that is going to put runners on second and third base for the Valley Cubs. Springville, though, would follow that up with a wild pitch, and that would score Ty Brown from third base and give Alexandria the lead. Nick Thompson now at the plate for Alexandria. He's going to draw the walk for the Valley Cubs. He's going to go third to first. Speaking of walks, Thompson wasn't the only one to draw a walk. Brody Slayton also drew one. He's now going to make the walk from third to first. And Alexandria gets back-to-back walks. They're going to get runners over. Bruner's going to come up to the plate. He's going to hit one to deep right field. That's going to be caught by Kevin Jones. It's a sac fly as Bray Good goes third to home. Next up, Samuel Henniger gets hit by the pitch. So he's going to make the walk to first base. Took it right off the wrist. Eli Barnes hits a double to center field, and it drops, and that's going to score an RBI for Alexandria. Bray Good draws the walk for the Valley Cubs. They got a couple walks in Game 2, more than a couple. He's going to move to first base. Nick Thompson is going to lay down a sac bunt, and that's going to score Evan Snow from third base. And you see Thompson celebrating. Takes a selflessness player to put a sac bunt down and be happy for scoring a run. This time, though, Ian Cartwright hits a fly ball to center field. Alex Holland drops it, and that's an error. And when there's an error by an opposing team, that brings out the fishing boot. There's the fishing boot in center field. That's what happens when you make an error. Sean Nichols flies out to Braid Good, and that wins the game for Alexandria. And here's the celebration. They walked around the whole field. Started right field, all the way around right field, all the way around center field, all the way around left field, back down the third base line. You see the players shaking hands with parents, friends, families, just community members that came out to support them. You see hugs, lots of hugs. Just a great night in the Valley. Great night to be a Cub. And I'll tell you what I love about this celebration. You're going to see it here in just a second. A guy that waited 14 seasons for the opportunity. This guy waited 14 seasons for the opportunity. And in his second season, his Valley Cubs are playing for a state championship. And Zach Welch, just like his players, took the time to thank every single person that was at that game yesterday supporting his team. They will play for a state championship Monday at JSU against Mobile Christian. The winning pitcher of Game 2 was Tripp Patterson. Threw a no-hitter earlier, threw a perfect game. Only gave up one hit in another game. He's been phenomenal in the playoffs for Alexandria. You take away the extra innings against Sardis, he's been lights out. For Trip Patterson yesterday, he had everything working for him on the mound. Everybody's going to focus on the 10 on the scoreboard, but look at the 0, the complete game, 5-inning shutout that Trip Patterson threw. We caught up with him after the game where he talked about how he felt on the mound.
I feel like all my pitches were really good for me. When you have a good defense behind you, it's easy to throw strikes and attack them.
I asked Trip Patterson how he felt after making the state championship game in his senior year. Here he is talking about how he felt last night in that moment.
It feels great. This has been our goal since day one, and to get a big league and a big win like that, 10-0, it's just huge. It gives us a lot of confidence going into it.
I mentioned Zach Welch a minute ago, how he waited 14 seasons for the opportunity to lead this program. He's seen guys like this come up from youth ball into junior high into varsity, and I asked Trip Patterson what it's been like to him personally to be able to play for Coach Zach Welch.
It's been great. I've known him my whole life. He was probably there when I was born. So playing for him has been a dream of mine, and I'm hoping we can bring one home for him.
We talked with Bray Good earlier. We're going to catch back up on that conversation with him. I mentioned how he's only a junior. This is a team that has had, 13, 14, 15-plus seniors on this team. It's a very senior-heavy team. Bray Good's a junior, but he's helped contribute to a senior-heavy team. And I asked him how he felt to know that he's helped these seniors have the opportunity to play for a state championship. Here's what he said.
Man, it's awesome. I've been with this team really my whole life. I played with them Little League growing up, travel ball. It's an honor to be with a team like this, and I know that this team is amazingly talented with guys 1 through 9. I'm happy to be with a team like this.
In their 4 playoff series, Alexandria swept 3 of them. They've only went to Game 3 once. That was against Sardis, where Good's number was called. He has not had to pitch a lot in the playoffs, but if he's needed against Mobile Christian, then he will certainly be ready. I asked Good to just talk a little bit about Trip Patterson, Andrew Allen, talk about learning behind these 2 guys.
Man, that's the best duo in pitching I've ever seen in high school. They go in there and they throw strikes. Man, it's hard to hit them because they know what they're doing, and they're in there and they have the confidence. And then when you have a team, the defense like this pushing behind them, it's really comfortable, being out here and knowing that they're on the mound with us.
Alexandria clinched a state championship berth last night, and they did it on Bird Welch Field. If you're from Alexandria, then you know that Bird Welch is a legend. He is a name that everyone in the community knows. Most people outside of the community know. I remember Bird from when I was a young kid. He is basically what Alexandria is all about. And Alexandria's field's named after Bird Welch. Bird's son is Zach Welch, the head coach of the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Imagine that moment last night when Zach Welch realized that his team just clinched a state championship berth and did it on a field named after his dad, an absolute legend. I asked Coach Zach Welch to express the emotions that he was feeling last night, realizing that not just the fact that they're going to state championship berth, not just the fact that they're going to the state championship game, but the fact that he did it on a field named after his father.
Man, that's a tough one. I haven't really taken a lot of time to think about it, but I think he's probably our number 1 fan. He's laid up in the hospital down there in Birmingham right now trying to get well. And to not have him here is tough, but I'm glad that we extended the season 1 more week to maybe try to get him out of there and get him back to the game. So I know he would want to see how the season wraps up. So I'm glad that they didn't end tonight, and I hope he can make it out for next week's games.
You heard Coach Welch right there. Bird is in the hospital currently in Birmingham. We need all prayer warriors. I'm asking everyone to join me in praying that he would be released by next Monday and can find a way to watch this team play in the state championship, because he is a legend and he is truly what Alexandria baseball and Alexandria is all about. Anybody that knows Bird knows the impact that he's made on their life, and Zach Welch is certainly making an impact on every single player, every single fan, every single parent that he encounters. He took time to walk the whole field yesterday, but he couldn't have walked that whole field had that community, the community of Alexandria, not showed up to support this team, to be there for them. Ask Coach Welch to talk a little bit about the community support that came out last night.
I tell you, Alexandria is a special, special place. The amount of people that came out last week to Sardis, traveled up on a school night, the amount of kids that go to our school that came out and supported, I can't say enough. I love where I'm from, and I love this community. And tonight, nights like tonight, it's just so unbelievable. When the game was over and the fireworks went off, and all of the guys were here together and all of our community was here together, it was just an emotional moment. It was one of those times that I want to remember forever, and when my life comes to an end, I hope kind of that's the image that flashes before my eyes, because it doesn't get much better than that right there. As we took our victory lap around the field, the amount of alumni that I saw, the amount of guys that has played for us in the past that came out tonight and cheered us on, and I know they feel like they're a part of it too. So the Alexandria baseball family is very widespread, and there's just so many people that are a part of it, and I'm lucky to call myself, part of it as well.
Alexandria now advances to the state championship game. Coach Welch, he's been there before, but this will be his first time as the head coach. Now, most of you that know this, Coach is married to Whitney Welch, who is the head volleyball coach, state champion coach herself. So she knows a thing or two about winning state championships. I'm sure she can give a pointer or two to Zach before next week. I asked Coach Welch, I said, Coach, if you win a state championship next week, where does that rank you inside your home? Well, here's what he said.
Number 2. I settled into the number 2 spot, and I'm very happy there. I'll let Whitney have that number 1 spot. She works harder than I do and uncovers more information, looks under more stones. So she's still the one. I'm just trying to be a nice runner-up.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good stuff right there. Man, I'm wishing the best of luck to Coach Welch and Alexandria in the state championship game, and I look forward to being there at Jacksonville State next week to continue to cover them throughout the rest of the way. Hey, that is going to do it for us today, but that is not it for East Alabama Now, because we're about to get to Chockalacca Park tonight, and I need everybody to pack it out. Let's support the Yellow Jackets and see Coach Jansen's team also punch their ticket to the Class 6A state championship game. I hope tomorrow it's a sweet celebration here at East Alabama Now as we celebrate not 1, not 2, because Westbrook Christian also clinched the state championship berth, but hopefully Oxford will be 3 and Coosa could be 4. We could be talking about 4 teams from East Alabama that are playing at JSU next week. I hope that's what we're talking about tomorrow. Either way, we'll have highlights of Oxford and Hartselle tomorrow on the Locker Room. That's going to do it for us. See you at Chockalacca Park in just a minute.